Presidents are supposed to sign laws that protect a nation, shape a future, and hold chaos at bay. But over the past 2 centuries, some presidents signed laws that were so strange, so extreme, and so unexpected, you might swear they were made up. They weren't. This is the true story of the strangest laws ever passed by US presidents. Rules that range from bizarre to terrifying to how did anyone think this was a good idea? Let's start with a law that didn't just control people. It controlled alcohol. In 1920, President Woodrow Wilson oversaw the beginning of one of the boldest social experiments in history: Prohibition. Selling alcohol became illegal nationwide. Bars closed overnight, businesses collapsed, and crime exploded. Instead of eliminating drinking, the law created bootleggers, gang empires, and underground bars known as speakeasies. Organized crime became richer than ever. Cities became more dangerous, and ordinary people turned into criminals just by ordering a drink. One law, one signature, and America became a nation of secret drinkers. Then there was President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who made it illegal to own gold. In the 1930s, during the Great Depression, Americans woke up to an unbelievable order: turn over your gold coins, jewelry, and certificates to the government. People could be fined or imprisoned for keeping too much precious metal. Why? Because the government needed total control of money to rescue the economy. Imagine opening your safe and realizing your own property was now illegal. Next up, something even stranger. During World War II, President Roosevelt also signed an executive order that allowed the government to forcibly relocate over 100,000 Japanese Americans. Families were uprooted, homes were lost, businesses were abandoned, all without charges or trials. The law was signed in the name of security. History would later call it one of America's greatest constitutional failures. Now, let's rewind to something even weirder. President Abraham Lincoln created the Secret Service, not to protect himself, but to stop counterfeiting. Yes, before guarding presidents, the Secret Service hunted fake money. Ironically, Lincoln signed the law just hours before he was assassinated, long before the agency became his shield. Then there's President John Adams, who successfully signed the Alien and Sedition Acts. Under this law, criticizing the government could land you in jail. Freedom of speech suddenly had a fine print. Journalists were arrested. Citizens were punished. Dissent became dangerous. America was still young and already flirting with censorship. And then came President Thomas Jefferson, who signed off on the Louisiana Purchase without being fully sure he was even allowed to do it. There was no clear constitutional rule that said the U.S. could buy foreign land, but Jefferson did it anyway, quietly. One of the most illegal-looking moves in American history became the most important real estate deal ever. Now, here's one you probably never heard. President Richard Nixon created the Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA. At the time, many people thought protecting air and water sounded ridiculous. Smog-filled cities were normal. Rivers literally caught fire. But that strange idea that the Earth itself needed protection, it became one of the most powerful environmental agencies on the planet. And finally, let's talk about President George W. Bush, who signed the Patriot Act after September 11th. The law gave the government massive surveillance powers. Phone calls could be monitored, emails tracked, personal data gathered, all in the name of safety. One law quietly changed the relationship between privacy and power forever. So what do all these laws have in common? They looked insane at first. Some were disasters. Some were lifesavers. Some reshaped the world. Because here's the truth. The strangest laws are often written during the strangest moments. Fear, panic, war, desperation. That's when governments make their boldest, and most dangerous decisions. Some laws vanish with time, others scar history, and some quietly rewrite what freedom even means. So the next time you hear about a strange law in the news, remember, history has been stranger, and every signature carries a ripple effect, long after the ink dries. If you enjoyed this wild tour through America's most unbelievable laws, hit like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Because history doesn't just happen, it gets signed into existence.